Alright guys, so no, I'm not in the diesel, I'm back in my wife's SUV. So here's the deal. So my 7.3 is being used as a workstation right now. We're on our secondary channel, Jacqueline Wolf Cedar Ranch. We put up a new chicken run, and so there's a bunch of stuff on the back of that truck, plus I bought a mini split a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been too lazy to put it in the other house. But seriously, the main reason I haven't done it yet, the reason I haven't put the mini split in the other house, is because that old 6.0 is in my way. See, what I need to do is, once I'm done, once I figure out where I'm going to put the 6.0, which I'm probably just going to put it directly behind the house we're in now, then I can go ahead and move it, and I'll have a way to get in and out of there, to the new house. Anyway, the reason I'm not in my other 6.0, well, there's two reasons why I'm not in there. One, I'm changing the ABS sensor, and so I called locally. Would have been a 20-mile drive, so 40 miles round trip for me to go to the local O'Reilly, and they don't have it. You have to keep in mind, this is a 20-year-old truck, literally 20 years old. So, I'm lucky to find, something like an ABS sensor that is, I can pick up locally. But anyway, I was going to end up driving all the way to Monticello, Arkansas. That was 75 miles. So that's a 150-mile round trip. I really didn't feel like driving it. So I looked at any further, and El Dorado has the part that I need. The El Dorado, I think it's O'Reilly, yeah. Because I was going to go all the way to AutoZone in Monticello, and I really didn't want to. So I ended up finding the part closer. So I ended up calling Monticello back and saying, because they were going to hold the part for me. They put my name on it and stuck it off to the side. Well, when I found this local closer to me, I had to call them back because, I'd feel bad if someone came in there and they needed that part. Well, I'm not going that direction now. And, I don't say anything, and that person's SOL. Because I'm trying to get everything squared away. I pulled the old sensor off. Didn't seem to be anything wrong with it, and the magnet was okay. It wasn't weak, as far as I could tell. Those magnets aren't really supposed to be, super strong anyway. It held up the screw that holds it down, so, but I didn't take my ohm meter and ohm it out. The ohms could be high, or the resistance could be high, which that means that it's bad. But I never did that. But, I never know what... when it comes to ohming out a sensor, really you're looking for low resistance. Little to no, or really, really low resistance is how I'm trying to explain it. So as close to zero as possible, the newer the part is, or the better working condition the sensor is the best way I can explain it. Sometimes if you have the book on what it is you're working on, it'll tell you, hey, you're looking for, 0.07 to 0.21 ohms or whatever, and so that's a better way of knowing if the part is actually good or if it's not. But as a rule of thumb, what I was taught is the closer to zero, the better. You want really, really low ohms. But anyway, so yeah, I wasn't going to put all of that, so the way that front wheel drive is made, or the four wheel drive is made, I've got spacers on the front of that truck, which is a bitch to get off, because so you take off your lug nuts, and then you get this big rim out of the way. And then, so there's 8 of those. And then, then you have to take your brake caliper off, your brake bracket off. So you got to move all of that out of the way. And then you got another 8 bolts, they look like lug nuts, but they're really and they're not bolts. I don't know why I said that, but they're nuts. They're like lug nuts.
These nuts.
And they're a size 19.
Got him.
But you got to break all 8 of those loose. Well, I ended up rounding off 2 of them at the shoulder because my idiot self was using a 3/8 as well as an 18 millimeter 12-point socket. Well, I ended up finding my 19 millimeter 6-point socket. So for a lot of you guys that may not understand how it works, a 6-pointed socket, if you were working with a 6-pointed bolt, use a 6-point socket. Well, my mechanics toolkit came with I'm trying to think. Give me a minute. Okay, so my 1/2-inch drive tool set. So I have a 1/4, 3/8, and a 1/2-inch drive. The 1/2-inch drive, every single one of those are 6-point or 12-point, which is irritating. But like my 1/4 and 3/8 drive, you got both. You've got 6 and 12-point sockets. So it's kind of irritating, but luckily I had a 19 millimeter. So for those of you that don't know, if an 18 millimeter, any 12-point socket that fits on a nut or a bolt, you're going to have to go up for 6-point. I don't understand why it works that way. Maybe it's the milling process or whatnot. But yeah, if you put an 18 millimeter, or if, you know, go backwards. Okay, if you've got an 8 millimeter 6-point socket, you know, 8 millimeter is going to fit on that. But an 8 millimeter 12-point is not going to fit on there. It's going to actually be a 10 millimeter 12-point socket. It's really weird how all that works, but it's just the experience that I've had throughout the years of turning wrenches. But anyway, yeah, long freaking trip just to go get a part. But yeah, I pulled the part off of the 2-wheel drive 6.0. So what my wife was researching, and it's not her fault, I don't blame her one bit, but she was researching and saying that the 2 ABS sensors fit. Well, they do. The VSS sensor. So the vehicle speed sensor, which is located on top of the differential at the back of the vehicle, both of those, yes, they are identical, and yes, they do interchange. The front wheel speed sensor, or the wheel speed sensor, those are not interchangeable for 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Yes, the connectors are the exact same, believe it or not. But the 2-wheel drive, for one, is longer, which that's kind of weird, since, you know, you would think you would need more length to reach from the plug to the tone ring, because it sits up, you know, 4-wheel drive sits up higher. But no, the 2-wheel drive sensor cord or wire is longer by maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch longer. Okay, well then the 4-wheel drive, the actual sensor itself, it is actually, I'm trying to think. So the sensor itself is actually smaller. The part that goes down into the hole for where it reads the tone ring. And on top of that, so you have a 90-degree bend. So the ABS sensor goes down like that, and the wire comes out going like this for the 4-wheel drive. 2-wheel drive, it goes, the sensor goes straight down and the wire goes straight up. So, you know, one, they're physically different in size, and 2, hold on a second. You guys see that cloud over there? Kind of looks like a poodle. Yes, I had an ADD moment. But anyway, yeah, they're different in size physically and how the cable is routed. So they're not interchangeable. I mean, I'm quite sure a lot of people that have worked on a bunch of 6.0s already knew that. But I didn't know that. But anyway, I'm not going to jaw jack for the duration of this whole trip. So, yeah, I'll get back when I get the part, and we'll go from there.
Finding out what country really means, from the bright city lights to the small town scenes.